Guys, I got home from work yesterday and a locksmith had left his business card outside my door to advertise his locksmith service. All I could think is this would make a much better ad if I'd found it inside on my pillow. I like living in LA, but I run into a lot of tourists out here. Like whenever I'm in Hollywood, I see a lot of Chinese tourists. And what's weird is the swine flu scare has been over for years, but they still walk around wearing those swine flu masks, which is a scary sight for a guy who grew up playing Mortal Kombat. But I really do see people from all over the world out here. Like I was at Universal Studios and I saw a tourist who looked like he was from Africa, admiring that giant fountain they have out front. And I thought, how would you even explain a giant fountain to someone visiting from Africa? Like, no, sir, you don't put your mouth in there. See, here in America, we have so much clean, drinkable water that sometimes we just use the extra to decorate. And then what we do is we take our spare change. Which is the extra money we have left over after buying everything we could possibly want. And we just throw it in the fountain and make a wish for a better life. And if there's ducks in the fountain, we'll throw in the bread we have left over after eating everything we could possibly eat. We basically take our leftover food and our leftover money and throw it in our leftover water. Have fun back in Africa. But we care way too much about food in this country. I read a study that said Americans nowadays get more excited about food than they do about sex, which sounds crazy, but that is reflected in the metaphors we use. When you think about it, you know, kissing is first base, fooling around is second and third base, and having sex is a home run. But 2 eggs, bacon, hash browns, and pancakes is a grand slam. Speaking of eating too much, I had dinner the other night at Applebee's. I don't know how many of you guys have eaten at Applebee's lately. They've basically gotten to the point where they're just naming their food after the type of diarrhea it causes. Like, yes, I will start with the sliders and the poppers. Then I will have the mudslide. And finally, the chocolate meltdown. No. Make it the fudge shooter. Which I promise you are all real Applebee's items. I was hanging out with a friend and I suggested going to Applebee's and she goes, no, let's go to the Rainforest Cafe. I was like, the Rainforest Cafe is like someone played Jumanji in an Applebee's. We eat so much in this country that there's an obesity epidemic, and that obesity epidemic got so bad that there was a reality show called I Didn't Know I Was Pregnant. That's true. If you haven't seen it, it's this series about these girls who are so overweight that they don't even realize they're going to have a baby. Until one day they're in the bathroom and they go number 3. Which is a baby. I'm 30 now, so I'm at that age where a lot of my friends are having babies. Like one of my friends just had her 3rd child, and she wants a new car, but she can't decide between a van or a minivan. I was like, you definitely want a minivan, because a minivan is great if you're the type of person who has to go around and pick up your kids a lot. A van is great if you're the type of person who goes around and picks up other people's kids a lot. I actually came up with an idea for a reality show that would help solve the problem of child abduction and also the problem of illegal immigration. See, how it would work is each week we'd have an illegal immigrant and a child molester just fight each other. And we'd call it Alien versus Predator.
Pew, 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 pew. Oh, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that is my good friend Adam Yenzer doing a little comedy. We are here. We are back. We are live. It's the PTPOD number 31, y'all. Oh, yeah. I am excited tonight. Tonight, worlds are colliding. We're going to do a tight one tonight. That's right, a tight one. But I got my man, my unofficial co-host. He's in the building. Let me bring him in. He's a friend to you. He's a friend to me. He's a professional comedian. He's a professional promoter. He does it all. There are sad unfunny children that would not have a stage to do comedy on if it weren't for this man. And he's killing it. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for your friend, my friend, the man that's making it happen, Joe Muffin. Pew, 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 pew. Oh, yeah. What up, dog? How you feeling?
What's up, folks? What's happening? What's happening? Shit, I'm here, tied to the motherfucker, but we here.
There you go, man. Gabe, the racing realtor, says, what's up, big pimp?
What's
I'm
up,
doing good. And I see my man Bob Jones. Bob, if you're listening, I see you in the mix. In fact, let me send him the link to the actual show so he can do the monitoring thing there too. So link to the live so you can monitor. So how you been, man?
I've been good, dog. What you been up to?
Man, just grinding it out. I heard you had a killer show the other night. Tell me about it.
Yes, sir. We did it big for the homie Vel, man. That shit was so fucking fun. The part that kind of threw me off though was like, everybody was like, they was doing their set and they weren't really talking about Vel. And you know me, I got fucking Vel stories. You know what I'm talking about?
Right.
Hell, I got
sure.
And I didn't even tell most of the Vel stuff. I told the stories from the shit that came up after he died. That was a little bit more fucked. Joke stealing and shit and everything that I had to deal with. But that was, shit, folks love that shit. They ate it up. I had a good time.
There you go. Hey, man.
My lick back, because I bombed in that damn room last year. So, yeah, I had to get my lick back.
In the same room. How did Mario do? Like you're going to talk to, like he could have tanked it. You'd be like, no, he did great. He's huge. He'll kill you. I'm always going to say he did great. No matter what.
That big bastard. I say if he suck, he suck. I'd say that out loud. Ain't nobody scared of that big country motherfucker. No. I love his face, but he can kiss my ass.
What are the chances of getting him on? I see Bob Jones sneaking in. What are the chances of getting him on next week to promote the show for Saturday?
Shoot him a message. I wouldn't see why not.
Well, you're the promoter, man, so just be like, dog, I need you to do this. Word, man. Man. I'm excited because I figured, man, me, you, maybe, and like anybody that's a part of the show, let's put an invite that they should do next week, and we'll do a thing. We'll go live 7-ish. And then as people can come in, we'll do an hour and a half we'll do a longer one. That's why I'm doing a tighter one tonight. Yes. So, yeah, man, I'm so glad you did great all up in there. Who else was a standout for that show?
Sherry Johnson was going to go in there and act a damn fool. You know how she do. You know what I'm talking about? I got to see Randall Lopez for the first time, and he was pretty decent. He was more than fair. I do say so. You know what I'm saying? Damon Vargas was all right. He opened the show and everything, and I don't know if he's been practicing regularly. I haven't seen his name that often, but he pulled up for Vel and everything. I left after my set because I was kind of like, we got to get to the crib. We was all the way in Tulsa. We wasn't getting paid, and we didn't have room. So that's just
we want to get
strikes, and we got to get the fuck out. You know what I'm talking
about? Yeah, I know. I got offered not to do a set, but I don't. I do a lot more than just sets like you do, right?
Yeah.
And a couple of my clients are in Austin doing a big deal Friday, Saturday night after 420. And they were like, come on out. And I'm like, man, here's the thing. In my 20s and 30s, you know what I'm saying? I'd have been like, hell yeah, let's get it. You know what I mean? But now I'm just like, man, driving 6 hours to Austin. Yeah, probably Friday night I could get a set at the Vulcan. And then Saturday's a big thing with, probably my biggest client and one of my bigger clients, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, I should go, but we'll see. But speaking of going and doing things, ladies and gentlemen, I got to bring this man in. He is a man of many characters. I met this man in Hawaii. I've known this man a very, very long time. Hilarious comedian. He's different, but he's different in that way that you're going to love. Joe, hang on to your hat. Ladies and gentlemen, my friend and yours, lovable man, making it happen. I believe he's in Washington State now. For Bob Jones. Pew, 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 pew. What up, Bob Jones? You can't hear. We can't hear you either. We can't hear you. We can't hear you.
First.
He's trying to talk. Yep, there he goes. We're going to let him go down and figure it all out and then come back. Oh, there he is. We can see you. We can't hear you.
Okay.
Hi, Mr. Jones, Amy says.
Hold on. I did this a second ago. Scroll. You should see a bar. Hold on. What did I do? Shit. Okay. So if you tap on the screen, you should see a more button that says settings, and it'll get your hearing right. Oh, he
Can
can't
you
hear us
hear
for real.
us? Can you hear us? Can you hear me, Bob Jones? Yes, you can. I don't know. I think he's figuring it out. No worries. No worries.
Hold on.
He's figuring it out. That's why I was like, come in before the show, dog. Like, come in before. He's like, nah. That's why I was like,
He looks old.
what I've decided to do is try to feature a comic. Like last week, it was the Shane Cashman bit. But I've decided I want to feature any comic who has, a little 5 minutes or whatever. And that's my boy, actually, that was his Conan set. I was doing, and then I stretched out and hit like his other set to stretch so everybody could get in. You know how it is. But
Right.
yeah, man, that's what it is. Doing a 30-minute show tonight, and I'm already at 20 minutes, and I haven't even gotten my official guest on. Because, you're the unofficial co-host. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
So,
right. I'm no one special.
Yeah, no, you are special, but you're like, you know what I'm saying? You're the one on the left. You know what I mean?
Right. I'm like
I'm
the
not
guy
always
on the
going to
couch.
bug you because I would have fired you by now because of your punctuality problems. But moving on.
Well, okay, you know my feelings on park. Speaking of which, not podcasting, we actually need to link up on something because a buddy of mine was showing me something on Facebook that they're doing, where basically they just they be on that motherfucker for like 10 hours, and letting folks just pop on and start chatting and shit. It was like random strangers. And it was kind of wild when I first saw it. And then this lady started getting on there talking about all the problems and issues and concerns, and I was like, yeah, I'm out of this bitch.
Ladies and gentlemen, are you there, Bob Jones?
Yes, I'm here.
There he is.
Here, can you hear
Hear
me?
no, see no. Yes, we can hear you great. Hear no,
Okay,
see no,
good.
speak no evil.
Yeah.
I want to wrap up with
Training
This
Okay.
is Bob Jones, ladies and gentlemen. Joe, I wanted to tell you something real fast. Yeah, man, that's what we do. And tell everybody here, we do a thing where after I run the show, then we rerun it back to back. We give it about 30 minutes and then we rerun it on all other platforms. So right now I'm live on Facebook, Rumble, and X, right? And then I'm going to rerun it, and it's going to feel like a live thing, and that's going to be on YouTube, and that's going to be on Instagram, and that will be on another channel, the other channel there on Facebook, which will be the Michael C. Hall Comedy channel, because once again, they still won't let me have my Facebook back. So Joe has gone. Where you go, Joe? Anyway, a little late for the nostril work, but it's appreciated. Hi, Bob. How are you?
Hey, I'm great. I just wanted to let you know, because of supply chain issues, the eclipse just got here today. So
Oh,
I just want to be safe
You-
and make sure that I'm not harmed. I'm here in beautiful downtown Ferndale in Washington, AC.
ah,
Okay, but let me see. I think it's probably safe now. Okay,
There
let's
you go.
try that.
it
Wow.
is safe. It is safe. You're safe. You're in a
Let
safe
it spin.
space. Ah. Oh, goodness. So what's going down with you, man? How have you been? For those that don't know, I met Bob, probably 20 years-ish or so ago. True story.
Well, yeah, right. Well, probably 2009 or 10,
Yeah.
because I was just beginning to do my characters in Honolulu, and you were very supportive, and so we were doing shows at Indigo's, Bar 7, whatever the one was that had the broken pipe with the moisture dribbling into the chunks of concrete
Right.
that was behind, I guess, where Art Minds is now.
Jazz Minds, I guess.
It's
Yeah,
all
whatever.
Jazz Minds.
Yes.
Art Hands, Jazz Minds, something like that. Maybe Jazz Hands.
Awesome.
Ah,
Boom.
it's like
There we go.
Joe had some of the same split pea soup I had for lunch today. It's wonderful here in Washington, but it's a little bit strange. Like I went to the deli today and they had split pea soup and then they had guardrail vegetable, which I was a little bit skeptical of. And I guess to get the trucker traffic in, they try to offer different things, you know.
Like guardrail vegetable.
Yes.
What is a guard?
That's-
What is a guardrail vegetable, if I may?
Well,
Joe, where'd you go? Joe, quit coming in and out. Joe, you're not being a good co-host. Sorry, go ahead, Bob.
that's all right. Now, I don't want to attack the Department of Transportation. I know Pete B has been getting a lot of criticism lately, you know.
Right.
So, but why don't we just pass over the guardrail vegetable issue?
Okay, fair enough. I hear you. That is fair. So you're doing some work out there in Washington now. Uh-oh, we lost you. Hold on. I lost your audio for a second. Hold on. Are you there? Hello?
I can hear you.
Boom, now you're back. Yes, there you are, buddy.
Okay, good. Probably a little self-editing algorithm that went, we don't need to hear any more of this after the guardrail vegetable bit.
Oh, no, we're having fun. Yeah, no more guardrail vegetables. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I was approached by, of all things, an artisan hot dog and sausage craft tap room and safe house that's in the middle of the town next to the harbor here.
Very Washington, very
yeah,
West Coast.
yeah.
Yes.
And it was pretty sweet because they asked me when they learned about Black Sand Bob that they hired me to MC their last open mic show. And it was a lot of fun, you know. So we'll see where that goes from here. But, you know, it was fun because they're very progressive, even though it's pirate themed, very progressive company. The crew, the management crew and the people in the kitchen are almost all women, as far as I could tell. In this state, you can never really be sure. But,
so the food must be terrible.
Oh, why do you say that? It's wonderful.
I'm joking.
It's the most bountiful bratwurst you can get this side of Idaho. But anyway, I like to say when I saw it was an all-girl crew.
Have you had all the bratwurst this side of Idaho?
No, I haven't.
So I don't think you're really speaking from a place of authority here.
Well, no, but one can imagine. You know, there's a lot of pickup trucks that have interesting.
A lot of truckers enjoy a hearty bratwurst.
Yeah. Here I am beating up on the truckers.
It's lonely on the road.
It's unfair. No, but I have to say, everyone's been.
Hey, you brought up bratwurst. You're the one claiming to be the bratwurst expert.
I did.
Okay.
And I shouldn't, because I know most educators would say brat is a prejudicial word you shouldn't use with children, especially the spoiled, because it can trigger them. But what I was going to say was this all-girl crew, I introduced them by saying they've been combating, you know, they're in the kitchen making all the dinners. So I said they've been combating male patriarchy since 2009.
Love it. Patriarchy, he says, ladies and
right.
gentlemen. So, we don't have too much longer, but I love it. It's a great joke. And it's a great place, and you need to work more. And if people are out there, they need to come see you. You know what I mean? I wanted to get that rap. You know what I'm saying? And I know you left Hawaii, and I wanted to, you know, give you an opportunity because a lot of folks out there still watch, especially when I have, you know, guests that are, you know, part of the old scene. And I wanted you to be able to holler back. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Let him know. By the way, Joe, this is Bob. Bob, this is Joe. Joe and me are, you know, working together I would say we're partners, but I'm not doing enough to be an official partner of
Okay.
anything right now. But we work together a lot. We're building, you know, as I'm, you know, doing the out of town stuff, and you know how it is, man. So,
Yes.
but we're going to be doing a couple of bigger shows this summer, and he is my unofficial co-host for this show. So,
Nice.
so yeah, so that's that. And then Bob, Joe Moffat, Bob is an amazing character comic. He'll come out one night and he's Black Sand Bob, which is a very well fleshed out character he has. It's a pirate, literally. It's like a comedian pirate. It's hilarious. Then he has Victor Galantine, which is like a detective, right? And then there was Victor was the detective. Who was the wizard?
Victor, that's you're thinking of Zabar the Brisk.
Yeah, Zabar the Brisk. Yes.
Yes.
With the noodle. Okay, so Zabar the Brisk was my favorite. I mean, and look, not saying they're not all good, but he came out as this wizard, right? As Zabar the Brisk was like this. Let me see if I can find some pictures. You go ahead. Tell us a little bit about the character development, why you chose that route instead of, say, regular stand-up, you know, and the balls it takes to come out and be a character. And look, my wife says he told me about Zabar. Yes, I did, because it was one of my favorite characters ever. So anyway, tell us a little bit about all that.
Well, I think it was you know, I've always done stage work on and off, and I've always loved comedy. And I had been just writing some random things and enjoying it, but I kept saying, I don't know where this is going to go. And then I'd say, don't question that, just write it. So I had a fair amount of silly, offbeat material. And then I was up for a part well, I shouldn't say I was up for a part. I got an email from one of the casting people on The Descendants, if you remember the Alexander Payne, George Clooney film that was done in Hawaii.
Mm-hmm.
And it was unusual because it explored the interface between the Caucasians who had long generational ties to Hawaii and how they fit into the more local scene in Hawaii. So it was an unusual thing, but I read the book, I got excited about it. And I ran into one of the casting people and I said, hey, I'm an actor. I'd love to be a part of this. And they sent me a message saying, okay, you're up to read for the part of the brother-in-law or the hematologist doctor, whatever it was. So I'm really excited, right? And then 2.5 weeks go by, crickets, and I hear nothing. And I just thought, okay, I don't want to wait anymore. And I looked at everything I wrote and I said, I can do this in one, as the oldsters, as Milton Berle would say. I can do like 70% of this stuff on stage. So then I went from there and I did Victor Galantine, who I think you were mixing, you were transposing defective with detective, but he's a financial advisor for Taxation with Integrity Today. So I did that very dry, little known tax adjustments to the 2010 tax code. And that went over very well because people would think it was serious and they'd be squirming in their seats going, I don't want to listen to this stuff. And then it would turn out to be very absurd. But yeah, and we did a number of those with you. And then Kendall Muscatine was the Canadian newspaper magnate, which was my way of tweaking the two local papers in Honolulu, became conjoined twins. And then one half of the twins committed suicide or was pushed into a shredder. I don't remember all the details. But anyway,
it's hard to keep up.
Yeah, the journalism scene in Honolulu took a major hit. So I did a piece where this Canadian hatchet man was explaining all the wonderful new features that your new newspaper would have. And I think one of them was speed lines, where, you know, no one has time to read a full headline. So we were going to do much shorter headlines. And it was stuff like Dog, Vog, Slog. And that was when Dog the Bounty Hunter got lost on the Big Island because of the volcanic fumes, you know. And
he got lost a lot of
anyway,
places. Real fast, quick pause. Pro Reacher out of
sure.
protocol. My partner from my Sunday night show and my ride or die 10 toes. Let's get it. Is in the building checking in. Pew, 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 pew. He's literally producing another show in Savannah, Georgia as we speak. Yet here he is showing the love. Thank you. Thank you, Pro.
Sweet.
Respect.
Now I have to ask, is this afternoon, are we going to meet the pimp on the blimp?
Oh, Alex Stein. He actually, oddly enough, he just did a show with Hotep Jesus, who is one of my clients that I produced a big event for just last month in New York and New Jersey, who I'm currently putting an East Coast tour together for now as we speak. Alex Stein just had him on the show. And oddly enough, his co-host was my girl Lila Hart, who I'm very close with, comedian out of Dallas, that going to be working probably with Joe here very shortly this summer. And then Stein we're bringing in as well. So, like, it's funny, I had two of my clients on his show with a guy that I am going to be promoting. So I was watching that before we did our thing. So, yeah, man, which is why it's a little piecemeal, but that's okay. One thing I definitely wanted to do real fast.
Yeah.
Want to show how far back we go, my brother. Boom. Look at that right there.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
look at that. I love how, of course, look at that stuff right there. That was Mr. Aaron with the short hair. That was fun. There you are right there.
That's right.
There's Jeremy. I wonder how Jeremy's doing. I haven't heard from him in a while. Anyway.
He's still around. Yeah.
He
occasionally pipes in on the feeds.
Very cool.
There
I am.
Still owe me $18. Go ahead.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm sure a lot of people money from this scene. So anyway, there you are. There I am.
Yes.
That was at the now legendary comedy venue, Hawaiian Brian's. Right. We know many of those people. I'll tell you, out of this list, I still keep in touch with that guy and that guy ish sometimes.
Joel, okay.
And Joe's still doing it.
Joseph Lewis in the back.
Is that Jay? Oh, of course, Jay Luke. Yeah.
He's doing a bunch of improv stuff that's getting a lot of attention.
Yeah, well, he's a killer, man. He's a genius, man. Love him.
Yes,
so, absolutely.
Yes, and he does a little dance. Cool. If you say something he think is really funny, he does a little dance like Thelonious Monk used to. Next to the piano stool, and I take that as a very high compliment.
That could be considered racist in certain circles, but not that he does it, but that you enjoy it. You know what I'm saying?
I enjoy a lot of things, Mike.
Oh, I'm sure you do, sir.
Anyone who knows how fast I move knows I am not a racist.
Shout out to King Eddie in the building. Pew, 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 pew. King Eddie, it's good to hear from you, my man. Thank you so much for dropping in the chat. I hope you're doing well, sir. Joe, if you say or do something funny and a black man then does a little dance around you, what do they call a little dance?
Shit, I don't know. Well,
a jig.
I ain't never seen.
Anyway, so the thing
no. To be clear, it wasn't around me. He stayed in place and rotated as an expression of the joy that my outrageous pun or whatever it was I said.
Yeah,
so I just took it as a great compliment. Yeah,
well, that's fair.
That for me.
That's very
fair.
And
to be fair, Joe volunteered to play my patient when I played Zebediah Tarpoon, the Confederate orthodontist who was in favor of abolishing slavery because all of the slaves that he worked on the plantations didn't have money to pay his dental bills. So that's why he was the one, if you remember, he was transported to Honolulu when his wicker balloon filled with chowder was hit by a lightning bolt and it created a time warp.
Yes,
so
I remember
he showed
that.
up at Hawaiian Brian's. But Joseph Lewis volunteered to be my patient, and I would open his mouth and say, "Sir, you have a rebel bicuspid." fighting to secede from your gums. But anyway, enough of that.
And just so people understand why Zabar was my favorite, bam, that's Zabar,
Okay.
ladies and gentlemen. That is
Yes.
Zabar the Brisk. You cannot deny that man. You cannot deny his. What did we
That's
call
right.
it?
Well, he's a Ouijarian noodle dowser.
Ouijarian noodle, yes.
Yeah, and the Ouijarian noodle dowser has its own page now, so I think they're going through a little bit of the late, Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis thing but it's all going to work out.
Have you done I know you've done Black Sand Bob
Yes.
recently. Have you done any of your other characters? What do you have coming up?
Well, it's funny. I did a couple of only video things during our national craft plague, which we were all affected by. That's what I call it sometimes when I'm not thinking about the dear people that we lost, known and unknown. But I've been writing a lot, and and Victor tends to come up because he's a good neutral presenter of bizarre information. Like he worked with Governor Ige just before he left office in Hawaii. Governor Ige, longtime Democratic governor. And so Victor went over some of the more obscure COVID protocols that no one was aware of because they were instigated so quickly and so brilliantly. And I think one of them was, heritage show band groups, the ones that would play in Waikiki in the hotel, like the Society of Seven. They were limited. They could only have 4 members in the group to be safe. And then the other thing was, and the remaining 4 members who were excluded were eligible for a grant. And the other thing was ventriloquists. Ventriloquists, they're dummies, or they're mannequin Americans, as I understand they're now called. They had to wear masks too. And if they didn't wear a mask, the dummy's eyes had to be really big, and it had to look like it was having trouble breathing. So the Honolulu entertainment scene, I'm sure
it's wacky.
James Monet,
it was wacky.
Like you've heard about a lot of the updates.
Speaking of, there's a guy who's hip, and he was on the scene, right? And I know that doing music reviews isn't the living it was, but I wanted to ask you about this guy right here. Bam, Hector LP.
Oh, yes. Well, Hector.
I've been worried about Hector. Is he holding up?
You should be, for 2 reasons. Hector's page was hacked.
No way!
Yes, by record Slovakian separatists who were trying to take over Vinyl Donia. Yeah. And that's why, he was kind of sequestered in a compound on the banks of Greg Lake, where he had to ride these things out. But he was arrested because
I've heard John Anderson turns into a Pegasus at sunrise if he's singing, you know what I mean, Roundabout.
Oh, sure.
If he's singing Roundabout and he hits the right note and the sun is setting at the exact time he'll turn into a Pegasus, you can clearly ride away in safety.
Well, Rick Wakeman used to say his favorite song was Siberian Carrot.
That's fair.
Instead of Katru, because of the vegetarian agenda.
Yes.
But look, John Anderson needs a peg to put as many hats on. Now it's interesting. When I did the hot dog, I called it the top tube steak tavern in the Northwest. Yes. I said there's only one dog that you can't get from this kitchen.
I don't want to interrupt you, but I just want people to know that I personally believe, and Joe, feel free to weigh in on this. I believe the term tube steak is so severely underused. It's a good one, and it's right there, yet we don't. You know what I mean? Tube steak is just yes to me.
It
No,
is,
not yes
is
for me. I don't want
there's
tube
a lot
steak.
of old ones we're missing, man. That's a good one right there for real. There's
Agreed.
some jokes that would not hurt to come back by no means.
Thank you, Joe. But what I
Look here,
said
you
was
you tube steak. Sorry, go ahead. Sorry, go.
Ah.
Sorry.
The only dog you can't get from this kitchen is a unicorn dog, which Black Sand has sampled. I wouldn't recommend it. And of course, there's a lot of statutes, especially on the West Coast, that forbid it. But anyway, just wanted to wrap up your Pegasus.
What is what is it? What is it, a unicorn dog?
Oh, you do not want to know.
Okay, fair.
That sounds. If it's the same thing that's in a unicorn frap at Starbucks, flush that
That's
shit
what-
down the toilet.
Exactly. That's what I was concerned
Okay.
about. You know what I mean?
Well,
That's-
apparently there's a lot of elder men in China who stand in line for unicorn dogs for the beneficial results, but I wouldn't know about that personally.
When asked what's in a
stand in line
unicorn
for
dog,
$5 sucky too.
see, Joe's taking it there.
Was that an ice cream? I heard an ice cream reference, something about a sundae. That's all right.
Something $5 Sunday. That better be a good Sunday for $5 freaking
I've never
dollars.
seen ice cream shoot like that before.
Oh.
Okay.
And finally, as we wrap here, the most popular character that my man has cultivated is there's one of my favorite pictures of the Black Sand Bob. Black Sand
That's an
Bob is
old one.
awesome. Yeah.
That's when
Just
I
a
was
cool
in the
pick.
galley. Yeah. You know,
Yeah.
I got in trouble. I got in trouble one day because I didn't realize when you're working in the galley, which is the gift shop below decks, you don't see who comes on the vessel. So I'm down there, and anytime they'd introduce me, I would try to pimp one of the products we had that most people
Sure.
weren't aware of. And one of the managers had just brought in Dr. Pepper. And everybody was bored because there weren't many sodas. So I thought, I got to do something. When they introduced me, I came up on the deck and I yelled, I held the can up to the sky and I said, whether you be king or a leper, have a frosty Dr. Pepper, right?
Nice.
And there was this dead silence on the deck. There's about 36 passengers on the ship. And all the pirates that I worked with turned to me and gave me the deadliest stare. I didn't know what was going on. And after we were done with that bit, the first mate said, Bob, you choose the one day we have a Hansen's disease patient aboard the ship. You chose that day to introduce the leper pepper bit. So now, to be fair, the aforementioned referred to gentleman, when he got off the ship at the end, and he did have very visible signs, he went, you guys were amazing. So
Nice.
I think I made his day.
Wait. So he has leprosy.
Yeah. Well, it's called Hansen's disease now.
See,
You know,
and I
there's a
disagree with
long-
that kind of
there's a-
stuff.
there's a
What did
long
Hansen do?
waiting list.
Yeah, why the hell does Hanson get pinned up on this shit? First of all, secondly,
Last time I saw them, I thought they were quite healthy.
yeah, no, if I hear somebody has Hansen's disease, I'm like, well,
Yeah.
Can't be that bad.
Yeah.
But if I hear somebody has leprosy, I'm motivated to help because wow, and not touch them.
Okay.
If somebody says they has Hansen's and I hug them, so can you get leprosy that way from touching
Bop.
other?
I didn't get a chance to ask him.
Well, did you
but-
touch him though? Did you touch him?
No, I
Okay.
was too busy. I was
Yeah,
too
well,
busy
good
selling
thing.
miniature pretzels.
Not worth the touch, man.
Good work, Joe. It's always good to reach out. Anyway, that's a good example of things would happen on the ship that
Right?
you
Yeah.
couldn't plan, you couldn't write, and that was a very fun gig.
Heck yeah. No, well, and just the character, how you fleshed it out, how you can take it with you. I think it's really cool that something I'm seeing is that you know, you do comedy long enough, you just get tired of yourself. You know what I mean? You really do, because it's all about talking about yourself, how you see the world, what you think, and you get tired of that, and you kind of wish sometimes you had a character to escape into, or you're playing one character like a Pee Wee Herman or a Gallagher or something, and you're stuck in that character, right? And you have to be that guy. No one wants to see you; they want to see that character. So when you do multiple characters, what's cool about that is it gives you you never run out of interesting stuff, you know. And it's like I was reading somewhere recently about how Kanye will be working on 2 songs, a fashion design, and a business deal all at the same time. That's just how his brain works and how he likes to work. And I think stuff like that would be fun, because I find with stuff like that, one thing informs the other, and that creative realm makes it more interesting. Because say you're writing for Black Sand Bob, but that'll inform Victor Galantine, which will inform Hector LP, which will inform kind of thing.
Well, actually, the main thing I think, and the place I first really saw this was the Canadian newspaper Man allowed me to comment on current events from a totally different perspective than a male stand-up comic would be welcomed or accepted to do. And that's the thing that's the gift to me. It's like when you put on a mask, you can go into realms and areas that you can't do when you're nakedly who you are, you know? So I think that's the thing that keeps, but the other thing about the multiple characters is things come up and I'll go, oh, this was made for Victor, or this was made for Black Sand, you know? But
have you,
but
side
thank
note,
you. That's a con. Yeah.
No. Yeah, no, absolutely. And we love all the characters. And that's why I loved it. You know, people don't understand Honolulu, right? But imagine, like, Joe, here's the thing. Imagine if Oklahoma City was an island, or the state of Oklahoma was smaller. Imagine if from Oklahoma City to Lawton was the entire state and it was an island. And that was it. And that's all the places you had to do comedy is in that little world, right? Period. That was it, you know.
Damn, that's
so
Galveston.
yeah, man. And you're doing 3-4 shows a week. It gets old, and you're busting. You're trying to do 2 ticketed shows to pay the bills, and then you're trying to do a couple of open mics to develop talent and, you know, see what's going on and to try to build a scene. So having a guy like, you know, Bob come in, and he never told us what he was going to do. That was half the fun. You know what I mean? We had no idea what guy was coming in that night. But to have a guy come in with crazy characters that was as nice and as kind as you can clearly see that he was, who clearly takes his craft seriously. You know what I mean? He takes it seriously. And to have a guy like that be able to come in and breathe fresh freaking air into just, you know, my dick and weed and poor and dude and beard and whatever, you know that white boy comedy.
Yeah.
So anyway, unfortunately, you sit through a lot of it.
I
So,
do some of that white boy comedy while you blew it down.
that's
My weed stories are fantastic, but I've been smoking for 20
no.
years. So
Yeah,
they're
no.
supposed to be.
There's a difference in what we do. It's a higher level. You know what I mean? Look, man, it's like music, right? Like, you know, the guitars behind me and that kind of thing. When I play GCA, right, it sounds completely different than when somebody who's never played guitar plays it. When I played, I'm going to sound professional. I can play GCA in 15 different ways. You know what I mean? So that's the thing. We're pro.
Yeah. Is GCA Grecian consensual adultery? Because they have a couple of, you know, YouTube videos that are,
and there
really
are 15 different ways to do it. In fact, more than that.
Okay.
It's like 50 ways to leave your lover.
Let's not get into your Corinthian columns right now.
I feel like, yeah, when it's Grecian, it's yeah, no, we're not getting into that. We're not even doing that. Anyway,
Hey, can
sorry.
I just say, I know I'm really enjoying this, and I'm probably pushing a little because I know we have this little window. But I have to say, Mike, we haven't done anything like this for at least 10 years, and it feels like it was 5 minutes ago.
Yes.
It feels like last night we were in Chinatown and there was a cough syrup gang circling one of us to cleanse our pockets of bus transfers and unsucked Ricola. And
Right.
you protected me without even, it's like we were suddenly in this intense noir movie. But Joe's giving me a little hint here. Back to you guys.
No, not at all, man. I'm listening.
That was funny.
Yeah, we did some
Now,
scuzzy gigs, but
Mike saved me one night because we used to go to this great cafe in Chinatown that was open till like 4 a.m. So anyone who did a show would end up there and have pancakes or, taro smoothies or whatever the special was. And but the neighborhood was pretty tough. It was the classic Chinatown that was defined by crazed naval personnel from at least 3 wars or police actions, and the women and whatever else who had committed to taking care of them. And that neighborhood was pretty rough, so it was educational. But Mike really watched out for me one night.
Every night we watch out for each other. That's the key, man, is
Right.
having each other's
Good
back.
man.
And it's about, you know what I mean? That's all it's about, man. Knowing your team.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Also knowing the
Yeah.
level of danger. And that's all right, man. That's what we do, dog. No worries. It's what we do.
Yeah.
So we are coming up on
Yeah.
the hour. So it is very, very important. Couple things. What I'm going to do is I like to toss to my co-host first. So you get the outro, Bob. And definitely send me anything you want to play. You have the do you want us to check out the 7-minute 51-second Victor Galantine is back in the Sandwich Isles video? You want me to close it with that? Because I'll close the show with that.
Okay, sure. If you
all right, cool.
If you like.
So yeah, we'll hit
there's a lot of Hawaii specific references, but I think people will get the gist. Sure.
We'll see.
If
I'll
you
listen
wish.
to it, and if it's good, I'll put it up. I'll share it. That way, we get as many people watching this, and then they can check that out too. I think would be the best thing there. Hey, look, I just do this for a living. What would I know? Sorry, I'm kidding. Anyway,
You're calm.
I'm kidding. Anyway,
I'm a fool.
all right,
I'm a
Joseph.
fool to say.
That's man. We gotta do more time. So I'm gonna have you back very soon, Bob Jones, if that's okay.
I'd love it.
All right, man. I do Tuesday nights basically, and I would love to talk to you more. I can see we need more time. Got a tight hour. Was really gonna do 30, and both of y'all were late. So,
Well, I think the 18 minutes notice might have,
I gave you like 45 minutes. Look, hey man, I'll tell the look. I gave you like 45 minutes notice. Sorry. I guess you don't want to be a star. That's fine. You know what I mean? Superior performance never sleeps. Excellence never takes a day off. That's some dick shit. Anyway, because taking a day off is a very important thing to do. We're comedians. All we want to do is take every day off and get paid for it. Joe, what do you got coming up, man? Talk to us.
The 420 of our 420 is the Laughing Grass Comedy Show. Yo ass is hosting.
Yes.
You're hosting and opening, and then our Mr. Royal Oates is closing. So we literally have Hall and Oates could be live in the building. Just one's a short white dude and one's a big ass black dude. But I digress. Yeah. It'll still
it's
work
funny,
out
he's
somewhere.
huge
And
compared to me.
It's right. He's fucking ginormous compared to you. I just saw the bastard. It's absurd. I told him that he ain't gonna have no dick left. He stay on them steroids. And of course, the lovely Lynn Kay and my kiddos, Colt Lack, Patrick Williams, and I've go ahead and added Miss Bree Goldie because she has been killing it at the club recently and doing a damn good job. So she's gonna be on the lineup as well. I might have another special guest, but they haven't hit me back yet, so I don't know.
Who you anybody I know?
Yeah, but I got to see if they're coming before I say anything. I don't want to jinx it.
Man, it's really See what I got to deal with, Bob? These
I
unprofessional
ain't telling
people.
you. I'll eat my ass. You can take a seat for
Anyway.
goddamn. You'll live. Your parents didn't tell you everything like you was like ugly. So
I don't even have two parents, so I never met
never
one of
had
them.
mine
So
together.
relax.
So what's the difference?
Clearly, but regardless
Watch
of that,
out, Mike.
man, you should let me know. Also, man, if you want to bring a heavier hitter or something for 20s, everybody's booked, dude. Everybody's booked. I was looking to try to bring it like somebody up from Dallas, but everybody's booked. So, but yeah, man, I'm excited.
So it's a Saturday night. Shit, we don't get another one for like 5 years. So
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
We're not going to get another 420 for like 5 years, y'all. Keep that
on
in
a
mind.
Saturday, fool.
Saturday, what'd I say? 420
You
on.
said 420 period. Like we don't get one every year.
We're not going to get
Kinda-
another 420 for 7 years. It's because of the eclipse on a
That's right.
leap year. Y'all don't know math. Okay, you need to learn math, Bob Jones. So, sorry. Guys, here it is. Here's the flyer. April 20th, 2024. Doors open at 7. Show's going to start at 9 p.m. Starring Lynn Kay, Joe Moffat, that old grumpy motherfucker at the bottom of your screen with the bald head looking good on the picture, looking like dead in the screen. So you decide. All right. And then me, that sexy mofo, Michael C. Hall, doing it like I do, party time crazy. And then the beast of comedy, Royal Oates. We're going to do our best to get Royal, Lynn Kay, Colt Lack, and Patrick Williams. Patrick doesn't get to come on my show, but Colt does, and Colt we love. So Colt will be here. Not yet. He's not ready, man. You don't just hand out guest spots on my shows. Anyway, you got to earn this, okay? This is important and special. So anyway, guys, as you can see, it's a packed out show. There's also going to be tents, smoking tents. If you got your OMMA card, you walk into this tent, it's going to be pumped with THC air. That's air that you breathe in with THC in it. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be awesome. Then you come in. I'm hosting the thing. I'm bringing the energy. I'm driving the train, starring these friends of ours. It's going to be a great night. You're not going to find a better place. Club Red is an awesome performance venue. They got everything you need there. So make sure you do that. And I will see you guys Sunday night for Rumble on Rumble with my partner Protocol. Pew, 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 pew. And we got a very special guest. Waiting on confirmation, but I think I got Bryson Gray coming on Sunday night. And if you don't know him, that's fine. But if you Google him, you'll be like, oh, this dude made a lot of noise. So having him on our show would be a big deal. So that's that. And Bob, let the people know where they can find you, what you got coming up, and how they can pay attention to you, your socials, all of that. What they want, if you have a YouTube, that kind of thing. Let us know, and we will walk out on that.
Oh, that's very kind, Mike. Thanks so much. You too, Joe. Yes, I am on the Book of Faces, as Black Sand Bob says. You can find him there, Black Sand Bob, or me, Bob Jones. And there's some things floating around on YouTube that I've been working on. And a little later this month, I'll be back in Honolulu. I'll be at Smacky's Tarot Barge. And Smacky's Tarot Barge is usually between the polytunnel and the runaway truck ramp. And I usually do like a multiple act with his copacetic interns, Vogdar and Tushy. But that's probably where I'll be next. I did want to say we need to be kinder. I think we should be kinder to the people running for the greatest office in the land. And I know it can be a polarized issue, but I wanted to throw out two things where the main presumptive candidates don't get credit. And one is that Donald Trump takes a lot of stick for not believing in global warming, but I happen to know that he gave Melania a fur brassiere. So that's one thing. And then it's been over a year since Joe Biden gave the order to shoot down that Chinese balloon, raining shredded plastic and an undetermined amount of MSG on a South Carolinian beach. But he still hasn't gotten credit for bringing down inflation. So we'll be a little kinder
Is that all you got? Is that what you really want to
I
walk
think
away on?
that's-
I feel like you could have a stronger closer. I got to be honest.
Okay.
I feel like you were
I just
just
wanted to
knocking him
throw
out of the
that
park, and you step up with the Joe Biden was good up, which is I can patently false. But don't get me started. That's my Sunday night show. That's why I have a Sunday night show so I can
Okay.
stay completely away from politics. Thing about that is
Sure.
that those are silly numbers and not the case at all, especially for the poorest of
Okay.
Americans. Cost of goods, and there's a false inflated bubble right now. And that is because we are tapping into our strategic oil reserves to keep prices artificially low during an election year. And if you look at it, that's why the cost of goods are all going up, because that doesn't affect diesel as much. And I'm not trying to cape up for anyone. I'm just saying, in my opinion, all politicians, especially the higher up you get, the more evil and corrupt they are, the less trusted they should be. And most of the problems we have in America, while yes, it's evil politicians, we're not involved in our local politics. And the problem starts. Fannie Willis proves to you, love her or hate her, Fannie Willis proves to you, one woman in one district can affect the entire nation and politics and potentially presidential elections. That's how actually important our local representatives, our local judges, our local even city council, county treasurers. That's how important these people are, especially and specifically our judges. So
Well, see,
at the end of the day, get involved locally. If you're unhappy with your
Amen.
government, don't sit there and complain. Get involved locally, however and whatever you believe. So
I
that's
just
my
had
thought.
the instinct precisely related to your passion on those issues. I think that's why I picked out. Maybe I'd throw that out.
Hey man, if you ever want to come on and debate on the Sunday night show, you are more than welcome. You're just so kind and sweet, and I love you so much. And you understand, when you get me in debate mode, you're really putting a fighter in a ring, right? And I like seriously. You think I'm kidding, but you should know me well enough by now to know when I'm challenged, the dog comes out.
To be clear, it's usually an onion ring, but that's fine. We won't go with
I'll take the hit.
that.
And on that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. So, Bob, you're coming back still, right? You still love me? You still coming back?
I do, of course.
All right, cool. Well, I love you because I, have a lot to learn always. And I appreciate the fact that you know who I am and that it's all love always. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah. True. The boss of comedy, Joe Moffat, Thursday night. You doing the party at the Red?
Yes, sir. I will be in Red. Doors open. Sign up at 8. Show starts at 9. We're going to rock until the last one is done.
Are you hosting?
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and host this week.
I was just going to say, I thought it was a great idea allowing those other kids to get their hosting legs, because the first thing they're going to do when they get out there, their first paid gigs, their first offers are going to be hosting gigs, and letting them get those legs while you know what I mean? I didn't get to ask you. I'm sure you felt it Saturday night. You know what I mean? Doing that kind of workout. You know what I mean? Sometimes you're cardio, sometimes, which is, to me, cardio is hosting. You don't enjoy it as much as heavy lifting. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, it makes you overall better and stronger. Whereas, doing the stand-up is the heavy lifting. But when you get it up, you're a superstar. So, yeah, man. And and tell Damari I want some of them steroids. Tell him to hook me up.
I mean, you know me, though. I flex hard on the sets. And to me, the hosting is a lot more difficult than doing a set. The set is just me doing what I do. But when I'm having to host, I'm having to keep other motherfuckers in consideration and shit. Watch my time, watch their time, and all that shit. That producer side is a motherfucker, but it's fun. So I run with it.
It's tough. Yeah. Go, Bob.
Black Sand Bob used to say on the night cruises, the dance cruises, people would ask him how he stayed in shape, and he'd say, "I used to do cardio, now I do Cardi B." True story.
It's like a Shar-Pei dog, and that it's so ugly it's cute. You know what I'm saying? It's like Musubi from 7-Eleven. It's so bad it's good. You know what I'm saying?
I'll take that as a
It is.
I'll take it as a condiment.
See, this is why I love you, man. This is why I love you. You're the living, breathing that guy, and I love that guy. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in every Tuesday right here, the PT Pod Show. We'll see you Sunday night for Rumble on Rumble. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Bob. And if you're in the Enid area, Thursday night, get in there. Kill it. And Bob, I'm going to have you on soon. Tuesday, we're going to have Joe and DeMario and everybody involved. We're going to have a big pre-party within the next Tuesday. So 2 weeks from tonight, Bob, I'll rebook you right now. And then because I feel like I owe you that. And then I'll do a nice little flyer and we'll do a whole thing for you. Okay?
Wow.
Yes.
Okay, sounds good. I'll check.
All right.
I'll check my MySpace page and make sure,
Can you?
sure I'm available.
I want a different tapestry behind you next time. That's all. That's all.
Oh, okay.
No, I love that one. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful one. I just wanted to like challenge you for some fun. So yeah. It was just for fun. All right, y'all. We'll talk soon. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. This is the PT Pod. This has been Ep 31. We love you. Thank you, pod people. Bye-bye. Good night.
Good night.